and welcome to day 17 of the self-reflection journey of myself, Omosola, and I am also inviting you to be part of that journey with me. It has been amazing. I can't believe that 17 days have gone by, making today day 17. And if you're just browsing by, wondering what's going on, Omosola has decided that it is the end of the year, getting close to the end of the year, the beginning of another year. What is one of the best ways to end this year is to reflect, self-reflect. Some of us might be saying, self-reflect, I do not want to know what has happened because possibly I've not met my targets, I've not met my goals, I am still on this journey, I'm not happy. But you know what? If you decide to self-reflect, you will at least know what you were doing wrong, and you may be surprised about the things that will be working or have worked. Either way, reflection is so important because it will help. Today is about consistency. This is the 17th day, and every day there has been a topic. Towards the end of the 21st day, I will give a summary of all the things that we have covered. But for me personally, it has been power-packed. So today is about consistency. And again, my question to you is, what has consistency got to do with self-reflection? Before I delve into that, it will be a great place to start is to find out, what does consistency actually mean? My research tells me consistency refers to the quality or state of being reliable, steady, and uniform in behavior, action, or attitude over a period of time. It involves the ability to maintain a particular standard, pattern, or level of performance without variation or deviation. Now, that is a tall order. And I must say that consistency and discipline walk hand in hand, because for you to be able to be consistent, you have to be disciplined. The good news is that all of us, at least I would say 99.9 or 95% of people, may struggle with consistency one time or the other. So we're not here to beat ourselves down. I have, fallen short of that. Sometimes I decide, and a typical example, I may have given this before, is at the beginning of the year, everybody decides, you know what, I want to lose weight, or I want to build muscles, or I want to do something. What do? We sign up to the gym. We do what we call a recurring payment, which means it's a direct debit. Whether you go or not, the money is coming out because we want to be consistent. And what happens along the way? Some reached month 1, month 2, and month 3. Research has shown that we start dwindling. So the question to myself is that, what is actually happening, and why do we dwindle? What is it that we need? And I think we need to maybe match that with discipline. What is our discipline schedule like? There are so many things we can do in order to create consistency, and one of them I'm going to share is stacking. And I read that from a book. I can't remember the title right now, but basically what it was saying to us is that add something you like, you enjoy doing, to something you are trying, a new habit you're trying to develop, and that will help with consistency. What does that look like? So for instance, when I go to the gym, I do not like going on the treadmill, but you know what? I have to. So in order to make the treadmill enjoyable, I listen to music. I listen to my kind of music. I may listen to a book. That's why I love audiobooks. So while I'm listening to what I enjoy, I am doing something I am not necessarily comfortable with. And what will that do? What's the aim? We're trying to build consistency. So back to self-reflection. I've given us reasons why we need to self-reflect. Why we need to be consistent. And now, how does consistency and self-reflection, how do they go together? Again, research, some of these things are things that we do ad hocly. We may not take it into account that we're doing it. So let me share some of the links between consistency and self-reflection and the things we need to look out for whilst we're doing it. Now, self-reflection allows us to actually understand what is it that we're consistent at. Because sometimes we are on what I call autopilot. And if you're on autopilot, you're not taking stock, you're just doing. You're driving from point A to point B because it's a route that you do all the time. You get there and you're not sure, you're thinking, did I break the lights? Did I do? Because you do this subconsciously, you do it. So self-reflection allows us to really take stock of the things that we may be doing on autopilot just because we do it. And it also might help us to dig deep to the things that we know we're doing, but have we been consistent? That is the key. Is it something we started in January and we left in March? Or is it something that we've decided to do and we maintained that throughout the year? So this is the time to look in the mirror and, you know what? Reflect. Another thing about what consistency and the link between self-reflection is that it helps us to know where we have developed, where we have grown. Because things that we are consistent at least positive things we're talking about here, you're able to detect, has there been growth? Now, the other side of it is that if we're consistent in doing things that are not giving us a positive outcome, again, self-reflection will highlight that. And one example that comes to mind might be timekeeping. How consistent have we been with our timekeeping? It is only when we sit back and self-reflect do we know whether we have actually been consistent or not, and if we need to change. And we can see that pattern because self-reflection will highlight patterns. So that's another thing that consistency with self-reflection will enable you to find out. Again, a lot of evaluation is going on. Self-reflection allows us to evaluate our areas of consistency, the plus or the minus, the negative or the positive, in order for us to do that. So again, I'm going to quickly summarize the link because it's very important that I am talking about the link between self-reflection and consistency. So self-reflection guides individuals in understanding the importance of consistency. And we've talked about that in terms of you knowing how to be a better version of yourself, how I can be a better version of myself. Consistency, self-reflection also allows me to understand behaviors, patterns, as I said earlier, but this time behaviors and attitudes. And we can benchmark it against what we were doing before. For instance, if I was short-tempered, has that improved? How have I tilted towards the other side? If I have been friendly, maybe I'm in customer service where I need to talk to clients, where I need to talk to people. How consistent have I been noticing what I have been doing from 2022 into 2023? Has there been any growth in order for me to see how I'm going to work out 2024? And the last one I'm going to highlight is that consistency helps us to align with actions and values. So we can again look at what actions are we taking? What actions are we doing? So I have not necessarily paid attention to consistency in certain areas of my business, but now that I'm self-reflecting, I am using that favorite word of mine. I am laser focusing in and making sure that I take time to look at what I'm consistent at and what I am not. I'm going to leave you now with my quotes. By now, if you've been watching, if you've been listening, you would know that I'm very hot on quotes. And why quotes? Because it is a reflection of what a lot of other people are thinking about the topic of discussion. So there are 3 quotes that really resonated with me. And I'm going to start with the first one, which says, self-reflection is the compass, which gives you direction. Consistency is the journey towards growth and excellence. Now, somebody who says her business name is the place of excellence, consistency has to be key. And that's why, whether I like it or not, I've made a commitment to show up every day for 21 days, and I have to. Again, that is a typical example of being consistent. And as I mentioned, there was a time where I couldn't, but the consistency, I made up for it. So again, it's about what is working, what is not working, and making sure that we focus. My second quote is, consistency is the bridge between reflection and action and turning thoughts into enduring habits. And I like the word enduring because it is a process. It takes time. It's not a quick fix. It's not me waking up tomorrow and saying, I want to be consistent. Consistency is measurable. You have to be able to measure it over time. So this is telling us that reflection involves action. Reflection involves action as well as consistency, which is that bridge. And my final quote is, true consistency stems from a deeply rooted understanding found in the moments of self-reflection. So you can't really totally, completely, I'm using different words so that it sinks in, to analyze if we have been consistent. The only way we can do that is take a step back and self-reflect. Well, I am off now to go and do my self-reflection, because remember, I mentioned it's not just about talking about it, it's about doing. Doing in the sense of taking the pen and the paper and putting them down. We need a reference point. We need to be able to have something to look back, to measure and to target. So if some of you are not pen to paper, your computer, your iPad, your phone, the key thing is that documentation is taking place. Tomorrow it's going to be about human resources, human capital. What is your social capital? And have you self-reflected on it? How do you know the kind of people that are or have been in your life? Have they matched what you wanted? Has it ticked the box of your 2023 up until now? We will find out tomorrow as I have conversation, as I reflect on me, the people that have invested in my life, the people I've invested in, and how it has impacted my business, and am I on the right track? So from me, your Transition and Transform Coach, it is bye for now. See you tomorrow, day 18.